Waving at everybody. Ready or not, here we come. Hey. Ready or not, here we come. We are coming at you live on Crypto Let's Talk. This is Crypto Kris, and this is my partner in crime, Mr. Krypto Joe. Say hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
What's going on, everybody? Are we feeling wonderful today, everybody?
Hey, you know what? Every day is a vacation. Every meal is a banquet.
Yep. Hey, Patty and Sharon are watching. Hey, how's the hurricane? Did it hit? I've been kind of out of the loop for a day.
I know, right? So, I think the last news update I got from Kathy was that she was without cable and without internet and was solely restricted to her phone. So I don't know if they've gotten that fixed yet because I haven't seen her online this morning. Has anybody seen Kathy this morning? Anybody seen Jeremy this morning? Lots and lots of rain, I bet.
It's dumping rain. Yeah. Man, it can't be that bad because Sharon's online.
Right.
The world's worst internet.
Yeah.
It was funny. We're like, what? I was asking, what is wrong with Sharon's internet? He goes, well, the volcano ate the tower.
Pele got hungry.
And I kind of felt bad. I was like, oh, that sucks. You don't think about things like that, but yeah, I guess. Yeah, there went the tower. And the geothermal plant and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys, I got some good advice for you. Anybody out there, if you're thinking about fracking a volcano for the geothermal heat, don't do it. Real bad idea. There's a lot of pressure there. Like, how could you not know that was going to happen?
Right. That's not a good idea.
They're like, holes in a volcano.
Nope.
Did they not know what was in the volcano?
Nope. Not going to do it.
Learned that like grade or something, maybe.
Not going to do it.
Where you make volcanoes.
Not going to do it. Hey, y'all. Today, Jeremy and I want to talk about a lot of stuff. Mostly, we want to giggle and laugh with you guys today because everything's been so serious for so long. Volcanoes and hurricanes and rains and massive destruction and Bitcoin not being at a great price and then I look at the Bitcoin price again because I do it frequently, and I say to myself, we're not that bad off. We're really not. We're still $2,000, $2,500 above where we were last year. It's okay. Oh Lord, not a earthquake. Jesus, tell me not.
Where?
I think Sharon was saying that when you frack into the lava rock like that you cause an earthquake.
Oh yeah. What? Oh yeah. Yeah. Hold on. I moved my camera, so I got to switch my. Hold on a second.
Oh Lord,
my screens all around.
He's moved his stuff again, y'all. Y'all know what happens when he moves his stuff around. It's cray.
There we go.
It's cray. So
someone asked the other day, they're like, why is the camera so high? I was like, well, because that's where that monitor's real tall.
Because that's where it's at.
32 inches. Yeah, I moved it over here. It's like I'm somewhere else.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, look, I can see you straight on. Bam, there you are.
Yes.
I can poke you in your eyes.
There you go.
I'll poke you in your eyes. Boop. Boop.
Ow. Ow.
So, you know what, y'all? I want to just say this, and I don't even care, because I love y'all. Y'all love us. It has been a crazy, crazy, crazy week. I thought, okay, this is the last week before we go to school. It'll be, calm. It'll be quiet. Everything will be peaceful. Oh, no. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. Nothing. So, it's all good. I try not to complain because if you say one complaint, then it always leads into 2, 3, 4, 5 down the road. And next thing you know, you've got this snowball of a complaint. It's like, ooh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So, hey, Joe, you were at the bar last night. How did that go? Did you have a pretty good turnout?
It wasn't bad, man. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, because it's your first day, right? It's your first day of the week, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the first day we open because we're not open on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Right.
But yeah, it's funny though. That's where I was going. What I was going to say is I got home and Laura's like, "Well, how was it?" I'm like, "I made $37.
$37.
That's all." I was like, "Oh, all I ran."
Oh my God.
She's like, "Oh God." She's like, "Well, that sucks." And she don't even get upset about it now. She's like, I made a little bit more than that.
You were pulling her leg, is what you were doing.
Honey, I made $37. So she was like, "Oh, well, good, okay."
Joe, you just want to worry her. That's all.
Do what?
You just want to worry her and pull her leg.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Like, don't make me go to work. I don't make any money. She's like, we should give everything away. Well, yeah, I got a point.
We'll just give the whole business away. Hey, you want a business? It's a free bar. You can have it. Here.
Our Red Bull didn't come in. So she knew I couldn't drink. That's what I drink. I drink Red Bull and vodka, So no drinking behind the bar. That was good. Stone cold sober.
Well, here's the thing.
It's actually on the bar here. It's not like I'm not a normal employee, so it's legal, which is kind of weird. Well, you can't get like hammered or nothing, but you're allowed to drink. So then we got strange laws here, but that's one of them that's kind of lax,
Hey, Sharon said we could have had a Zoom hurricane party straight from the bar. Hey, there's a drink called a hurricane. There's a drink called the hurricane.
I got hurricane glasses. Mm-hmm. I've got special glasses.
I know, right? So, I almost feel bad about this, but I'm going to say it anyway. We are having the most beautiful weather here today that we've had in forever. Like, my windows are even open, y'all. And I've got the blind closed so I don't blind y'all to death. But the windows are open, and the wind is blowing, and there's no humidity, and it's just fabulous. I mean, fabulous. Yeah, Joe says, why are you saying that, Kris? It's not like that here today. And, but hey, look, I'm taking advantage of it today because I've had a crappy summer. If it hasn't been raining, then we've had humidity and heat so bad you couldn't breathe. So it's just been a crappy summer. But you know what? That's okay because we love summer. And I'll be missing summer here soon enough. I promise you that.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
Yeah. Personally.
Hey, Joe, do you remember what I told you when I talked to you a few minutes ago?
No.
I said you need systems at the bar.
Oh, systems. Oh, whatever. And I said, quit trying to sell me that crap.
You need systems. You need systems.
Did you not get the check? You quit telling me about it.
You need systems, brother. Right. Hey, y'all.
You really do.
At the end of every day, I think about this is exactly what I do. People say, how do you get through your days? In the mornings, we've talked about mornings before. I get up and I do my grateful things and I share my coffee post on Facebook. That's for me, and I have my coffee and I check my email and check the blog and stuff. But at night, we've never talked about what I do at night. And so what I do at night, because someone asked the other day, is this. I sit in my chair and I push away from the computer. I turn everything down. All electronics are off. And I sit back and I think about my day and I ask myself, could I have done anything differently to make this day turn out any better than it turned out today? And most of the days, I can honestly say the answer to that is no. Occasionally, I will run into a day where I'd say, you know what? There are a couple things I could have done. There are a couple things I wished I'd have done, right? But here's the reason that I share that with you is because I was online earlier today with one of my mentors, and we were talking about people taking responsibility, right? Because I was talking to them about business, and I was talking to them about, excuse me, I was talking to them about everything not going exactly the way that I want it to go, and you know, how can I change that? How could I be more patient? How could I help others be better than they are? You know, et cetera, et cetera. That's just kind of the way it goes, right? You're always looking to be better. You're always looking to strive to do better and to do more things. And so I was talking to my mentor, and the most profound thing came out of his mouth. He said, Kris, he said, all of that's important. Everything that you just talked about is hugely important. He said, but let me give you one thing to chew on. I said, okay, do that. He said, unless they take responsibility for themselves first, they'll never take responsibility for their business. And I was like, oh my God.
That's true.
Oh my God.
Kind of
It's like, you know,
I mean,
and
that's
that's
simple as. But, well, it's kind of, you know, I've talked before about that little book called I Dare You, and it's about building yourself is what it's about, you know, and how to build through life. And they came out, you know, back when there wasn't public schools. You know, like we haven't always had public schools in the United States. Everybody thinks we have, but that's not true. You know, until like the late early 40s, you know, and if you notice, all high schools are either from the 1800s, you know what I mean? And they're in probably pretty what were affluent areas, or, you know, a lot of farm kids and stuff, they didn't go to school. You know, I mean, the whole school system is based around agriculture too. That's why, like, we have daylight savings time, and the reason we have it so you have a longer work day, basically.
Bam.
Which it doesn't really matter on a farm anyways what time it is. You get up at sun up and you go down at sundown. I mean, actually,
right.
You know, but you got to remember, back then people didn't have electricity. You know what I mean? So, you know, people don't realize what a big advent electricity was to society completely. I mean, kerosene lamps are one thing, but an electric light bulb, that's craziness.
Crazy.
You know, I mean, it extended that day. You know, when it was dark, you went to bed. You know, ate dinner, went to bed. Period. You know, what was I saying? Oh, but in that book, man, it talks about building yourself. And, you know, if you're a weakling, do push-ups. You know what I mean? If you're afraid of something, face it. You know, and it's basically, I dare you to be all that you can be. You know what I mean? I dare you to have a goal and achieve it. You know, kind of like that. And, you know, but at the same time, it teaches your systems, like you're talking about. You know, you got to get up and do something every day. You know, they say it takes 16 days to build a habit. So if you get up for 16 days and make your bed as soon as you get out of bed for 16 days in a row, on the 17th day, it's supposed to just come natural to you. It's not a hassle anymore. It's just something you do. You know what I mean? If you get
you
up,
don't even realize
get
it.
up and brushing your teeth. Yeah, you don't even realize it. You know, like getting up to take a shower or whatever. You know, it's just normal. You know, it's a routine, but that's a system. You know, getting up and making the coffee. You know, or however you do that. You know what I mean? We all got different kinds of coffee pots. I have the old school real coffee pot still. You know, where like has a filter and put a scoop of coffee in. For water.
The percolator?
You know.
The percolator?
No, not a percolator. I got a percolator. I got a percolator. Gloria said the other day I was snoring because she thought the coffee was on. And she's like, he sounded like a damn percolator.
Oh, Lord.
It's my sinus drained so bad at night.
Hey, Joe, you want to know something funny?
Yeah.
So just this very morning, you're talking about making the bed and how it becomes a habit. Just this very morning, things were a little bit crazy around my house this morning. And I went past my bedroom door a little while ago because, as you know, I jumped on and I said, let me go run to the bathroom and fill my coffee cup. And when I went to the bathroom, I went past my bedroom door and I looked in and I had made the bed and I said, daggone, when did I do that? I don't remember making the bed. So see, it really does become a habit, y'all. The things that we do, we don't even realize that we do it. And, you know, it's like talking to your kids. You don't realize the things that you say. And so for me, I have been trying to slow down a little bit, especially when talking to my son. And I've been listening to what I say, right? And not just saying what I say. And the reason that I've been doing that is because he's at an integral part in his life. He's getting ready to turn 9 years old. And so now he's starting to regurgitate some of the things that you say. And he thinks that because I say something or that I do something, that it's okay for him to do it. And I'm like, whoa, where did you get that from? And he's like, well, you say it. And I'm like, no. Wait a minute. I'm an adult. You're a child. And so what I'm realizing, and I know y'all are wondering, well, where's this going? Why is he on this tangent? What I'm realizing is a lot of this stuff is by habit. Like I say it and I don't even realize that I'm saying it. So that's where I was going with that. Habits are nothing more than repeated actions or words that you do more than once, and you do it in a way that you don't even realize you've done it. So, for me, it's a little bit on the crazy side because I'm, and again, the universe makes no mistakes. We would be having this exact conversation, and I'm in the process of realizing and analyzing and going through that in my personal life. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Well, and there's something that's real interesting that you kind of hit on that topic with you being a new parent, and coming into it at the age at which you became not necessarily just, well, at both of you, your part and his part, what I'm saying? Your ages, you know what I mean? Luckily for you, you're calm now. You know what I mean? That's why grandparents are so much better than parents generally. You know what I mean? And my brother had this theory. He's like, grandparents should raise the damn kids. That's a good
idea.
Parents, young parents, but that's for young parents. I mean, I didn't become a parent until I was 26.
Right.
I mean, I didn't go out and have, you know what I mean? I was pretty well done with the partying, sort of, kind of. And I don't know, you're like, you want a bar, Joe? What are you talking about? But I'll be honest with you, I quit bartending, I thought, for good about 12, 13 years ago. You know what I mean? Well, about 13 or so. And then when the mortgage industry crashed, I had to go do something. And so it was like a fallback, and then it's just turned into all these years. You know what I mean? And I used to work constantly. I mean, I worked 16 hours a day at the bar. It was just is what I did. I mean, it didn't matter if I owned it, didn't own it, didn't matter. But what you're learning is I forgot what I was saying. Hey,
you were talking about his age and my age and me being a new parent, and
oh yeah, you have to be responsible, and like you have to be more introspective about the things you do, because you're like, oh wait, I can't do that. Like, you can't go off in the car. You go off and start cussing people that cut you off in traffic, and they think that's okay. You know what I mean? Or just silly things. You're like, even the things that you say, because we all kind of talk trash about people every now and then, or things like that, or somebody makes us mad, and you're like, oh, whatever. Or, we all get snippy about things. You know what I mean?
Right.
We all make snide comments, and you try not to, but it's just life. But you really have to be very, very aware of yourself, because you don't want to teach those traits. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things where we've all learned them, and we didn't know why. I mean, you don't know why you can say all these things about people, but you learn to. You know what I mean? And especially when you spend so much time in public, it's kind of, man, I run into some really, really, really wonderful, but I run into some just, well, God bless their hearts.
God bless their hearts. God bless their hearts. Hey, look, I've got a friend, okay, and I love Miss Fifi. Her name is Fifi, and I love Miss Fifi to death. And when she's at a loss for words, or something is just way out there, this is her go-to. She'll just look at them and shake her head like this, and she'll say, God love, and it's her way of saying, if things get any crazier around here, I am going to explode. But she never explodes. She just, God love, and it became a motto. Funny story. Everybody likes a story, right? So, funny story. I was in a network marketing business once in my life, right? Ha ha ha! That's funny. No, seriously. I was in this network marketing company, and it was a travel company. And my buddy and I, funny thing, his name was Joe too. Anyway, Joe and I decided we were going to open an office, because a lot of the people in the Atlanta area were involved in this travel company, but people that they were talking to were having a hard time understanding how travel could go digital as opposed to brick and mortar. So we opened an actual brick and mortar office,
Right.
and what we did was we put in a bunch of desks, like 6 or 8 desks, and the top earners, we would, in our teams, the top earners, excuse me, we would give those top earners those desks for a month. So the 6 or 8 top earners, not counting Joe and I, they would have actual office desk with their names. We'd have a plaque. You know, we had one of those things where you could slide the name in on the desk, the little desk things, and we put their name in there. And we had a conference room for presentations, and then we had a conference room for meetings in the back with a big table and chairs and stuff. And that's where Joe and I spent most of our time, was in the conference room. We let everybody else have the offices. We didn't need the offices. But where I'm going with that is that we actually had a sign made that right as you came in the front door of the office, you looked at a wall, and then you turned to the right, and the receptionist was over here, and then all the offices were down the hall. And right as you came in that door, we had God love, and we had it painted on the wall in calligraphy, because Fifi was a top earner in our company all the time. So she was consistent, like she was, a fixture in the office, and you would hear her on the phone, and we'd just bust out laughing, right? Because we had a little kitchenette or whatever where we had refrigerator, microwave, and coffee pot. Got to have a coffee pot, right? And snacks and stuff. And you'd hear her, God love, and we would just all bust out laughing. Now, where am I going with that? I'm going with that is every single person on this planet needs to find something like God love to replace those uglinesses out there. Because think about what my kid would be walking around saying right now, instead of saying the things that I'd been saying, right? He'd be walking around going, God love.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where I was going with that.
I really want to see. God love.
God love. I need to call Miss Fifi. I hadn't talked to Miss Fifi in a hot minute. Have her on as a guest one day.
I had a bartender, and he's always like that. You always say that. He's like, that's funny.
That's funny.
Isn't that nice?
Isn't that nice? I have a story I can tell y'all about. That's not. How nice. How nice. But I have to clean it up a little bit for our live. So
Is it a joke?
It is a joke, but I have to clean it up. Mm-hmm.
The three girls and that's the joke he tell all the time. And yeah.
So
it's kind of hard to clean up, though. Well, it's not really dirty, but it's not.
Well, I'm gonna give y'all a happy day, okay? I'm gonna tell you this little joke, and you can remember it, and then you'll have something to share with your people today. So this is very southern. Okay, so
it's very southern too.
You've got 3 ladies, and they're rocking on the front porch, and they're sipping mint juleps. Okay, and so they're rocking on the front porch, and they're sipping mint juleps, and the first lady says, "You know, girls, my man loves me so much. He bought me this big plantation." And this little lady in the middle says, "Well, that's really nice." And the little lady at the end says, "How nice." And so they're sitting there and they're drinking their mint juleps and they're going on. And the second lady says, "Y'all know what, ladies?" And they said, "Well, what's that, Myrna?" And Myrna says, "Well, my man loves me so much. He bought me this big fancy diamond ring." And the first lady says, "Well, that's just wonderful. I just love that. That's beautiful. What'd you have to do for that?" And she said, "I just was me." And the last one was sitting down there, and she took a sip of her mint julep, and she looked over, and she says, "How nice." Well, they sit there for a little bit, and the third lady never says nothing. And so the other 2 ladies said, well, Jamie, what did your husband get you?" And she says, "Well, he sent me to boarding etiquette school." They said, "Whatever for?" She said, well, they taught me how to replace 2 words, F-U, with how nice. So every time you want to use those ugly words, y'all just say, how nice, and rock in your chair, okay?
How nice.
So, how nice.
I meant
Yes.
Julep.
Everybody
Right
in
on
Shelby,
donation.
North Carolina knows that joke. I can tell you that right now. That one got around for just a minute. So, how nice and God love. How nice and God
God
love.
love.
So, everybody's right. Crypto is up a little bit today. We're seeing quite a bit of green, and everybody's loving that. I know that they are. And, you know, Joe and I are habitually, we check CoinMarketCap and don't even realize that we've checked it. I've talked to Joe on several days, several occasions,
Yeah.
and we ask each other what Bitcoin is today, and neither one of us can tell each other, but we've been there. So then we go look and it's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. It is that, isn't
So
it?
it's, I'm telling you, when it gets down to $12, I'm gonna buy a bunch of it.
I'm telling you. And everybody's going to come hunt you, Joe. You better
$12, I don't need to know.
you, you, you better unlist your address.
When it gets
Remember back in the day when people had
I
unlisted
better check
telephone
address.
numbers? You're going to need an unlisted address.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's
yeah.
funny. That made me think of something. They don't have
Tell
that
me.
thing.
Tell
If you
me.
don't know what a party line is, a party line was basically a conference call for teenagers
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. And if you paid for if you went to school and the teacher asked you for your home telephone number, all the kids in school could tell whether you were on a party
Yeah.
line or a private line by the first 3 numbers. And if you had a private line, everybody automatically assumed that you had money. True story, y'all. You know, things have changed so much over the
Yeah.
years, but here's what I know hasn't changed. People
Yeah.
love people and people love stories, and that's kind of what this live is really about today, okay? Is stories. And we, you know, sometimes y'all don't really
Yeah.
understand where we're going, and I know that. But there's always a message. There's always something. Sometimes it's hidden and we tell you about it, sometimes we don't. But you know, here's what I'm gonna say about this, and that is there's always a message, and people love people. Okay, people connect with people. So when you begin to search, when you begin to look for ways to build your business, don't abandon being a people person. Okay, don't abandon telling little stories. Don't abandon the funny little jokes, even if it extends your conversation a couple minutes. It's okay. You know why? No one is ever gonna complain if they run late because somebody told a joke or they shared a story with them. It is the truth, y'all. It really is, and it will make you feel better as well as your prospects. How many times, Joe, have you and we're talking brick and mortar. How many times have you gone to the bar and not really been in the mood to be there, right? And one of your regular customers comes in and they sit up to the bar, right?
Yeah.
And they tell you a story and it automatically makes you feel better. Am I right?
Oh yeah, it really does. You know, and especially since we all know each other in this town. You know what I mean? So if you do something at another bar, I mean, before they can walk here, the story's there. I don't know how that happens, but it happens. You know, like, oh, you won't believe what so and so did, and you're just like, oh God, at least it wasn't here. You know, it's like, oh no, because everybody's a friend. You know,
Yeah.
and you're just like, what do we do? That's like, I guess we got to kick them out. Like, I mean, there's times when we have to go ahead and kick everybody out, like certain people out at every bar in town. You know, because they're like, well, why am I kicked out? It's like, man, you should have done that. Like my buddy that got naked
Right.
at the bar.
Hey, you know what?
Like,
He
God,
just got
it's
overheated,
like, yeah,
Joe.
I'm sorry.
He was overheated, man. Air conditioning wasn't working well. So,
but he was drunk, and so I made him go out to the patio. And
hey.
it was like he threw a temper tantrum like a 2-year-old. Like, are you naked on the patio? That's like, God damn it. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, God, no.
You know, it's funny because it's funny because we don't realize how much we connect through stories, right? Like the people that I know the best, the people that I think the most of, I can tell you that we've shared stories. We've shared, we've laughed together. We've eat together, and that is really what creates your trust and transparency. So since we're talking about that, here's the thing that I want everybody to understand, and I guess I'm coming from a personal place on this because in the last 2 weeks I have been pitched. I cannot tell you how many times I've been pitched. Okay, for whatever reason, apparently people are not recognizing or whatever that I'm in a business. I don't make any bones about it, but I've been pitched a lot recently over the last 2 weeks, probably I would say at least 10 different companies. Okay. And the funny thing about that is I've been pitched on a couple of them more than once by more than one person. And then even further than that, when you ask someone questions and they can't give you the answers, that's scary, y'all. Okay. That's scary. And I'm not talking about like you got to know everything about your business. That's not what I mean. I mean the simple questions. Like, for instance, I'll give you some examples. Where's the home office? They can't tell you. Why can't you tell me? Well, it's a pre-launch. Well, let me tell y'all something. In the United States and in Canada, it is illegal, even in a pre-launch, to have a business without a business address. Even if it's just a postal service address, you have to have an address. Okay. Another one that got me was, who's at the top of this thing? Who created it? Oh, we can't tell you. We have to protect them for security reasons. What? You have to protect them for security reasons? Really? To me, that's a red flag because I don't believe that, number one. Number two, I think you're making it up and you're trying to blow smoke up my you-know-what. And, I'm not that person. I'm a direct person. If I ask a question, I want an answer, right? So, how nice. Right? How nice. So, just be honest, okay? Honesty is your best ticket. Honesty is going to get you further. If I'm talking to you, I don't care if you're a brand new person. I don't care if you just joined 5 minutes before you and I talk, okay? If I'm talking to you and I ask you a question and you don't know the answer, I got way more respect. My respect level is going to go through the roof for you if you tell me, you know what, Kris, I don't really know the answer to that. Hey, let's call so-and-so, or let's see if we can find out the answer together. Dude, I got the bumps. Look, I got the bumps. That's what you're supposed to do, y'all. Okay? There is no wrong. There is no wrong in admitting that you don't know something. You don't have to be a know-it-all, an expert. It's nice when you know things. Absolutely. But you know what? We're all in business. We're all human. We all have a first day, a first week, a first month, a first year. And you can't know it all. If you do know it all, in my opinion, and this is just me, if someone's pitching me and they know every single answer and, they've gone on for an hour, I'm pushing away because that person is overbearing. They're too much. They're just too much for me. Like, I can't deal with that because I feel like I got to know all that stuff that person just told me then in that hour. Okay, I had to know all that stuff before I can go talk to anybody. When am I going to start making money? Well, God, that's going to take forever for me to start making money. I got to learn all that stuff. No, y'all, no. Less is more. Less is best. Less is where you should be at. And the reason is because you want that new person to feel like they can do that, right? If you've got if you've got Joe and I'm just using this as an example because, again, I'm throwing us under the bus. But if you've got Joe and I recorded on doing a presentation, then what you should do? You should say, hey, Joe, you know what? I just found out about this company, and I don't know that much about it, but I really got turned on about it. Do you know anything about Bitcoin? And Joe says, well, I know a little bit, but I'd like to know more. Guess what I should do? I should send him to the link for the recording. I shouldn't try to tell him nothing. I should say, hey, Joe, watch this for me because I don't know that much about it yet, and I don't want to tell you anything wrong. And when you finish watching it, how about we get back together and we talk about it? I might learn something from you. Dude, that is the best partnership ever. Why? Because that new person feels like, hey, they can contribute. They're going to watch something. Then you guys are going to compare notes. Odds are they didn't just watch the video, but you did. So you're going to come back with something they don't know anything about, and you're going to be teaching one another. What a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Yes, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yep.
So
that's true.
You know, Joe, I've been doing a lot of talking today.
From somebody that...
I've been doing a lot of talking today. You talk some.
Is that abnormal?
How nice.
Really? I didn't notice.
God love.
God love. How nice.
God love. I love you, Joe.
Love you too, brother. Hey, you know, and that's the thing. Like, you know, I learned something about Coinbase from somebody that, you know, the friend of mine that asked me about it, caught me in the parking lot and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I told them way too much, and all of a sudden they didn't need my help. I was like, crap. I thought they were going to Coinbase to get money to join, and they just got money to invest. I was like, okay. Damn.
It happens, brother.
But, you know, I didn't know that you could use it. If you use like a prepaid debit card with Coinbase, you can get money immediately, you know, but there's no need to do that anymore because now we got Cash Me, and Cash Me is in all 50 states. Use that reference code up there. You'll get $5, $5 free dollars. Mm-hmm. Nice. And, man, it's instant. I mean, I know that it's pretty close to being, I mean, boom, done. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't really know how I guess they're set up as an exchange.
Right.
You know, and their back office is partially an exchange, I would think. That or they just got a horde of Bitcoin. You know what I mean? But I mean, I really don't know. I would think they're more of an exchange.
Hey, maybe they figured out how to become a Bitcoin bank,
another
bro.
thing I want to talk about exchange. They might have. Maybe that is what they did.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Probably. That's probably. Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
You know, I want to go talk to a local bank here because they're old. You know what I mean? Like they've been here for 100 and something years, and like the banker lives here. Like it's a real old school bank. You know, like hey, you know, but, they're not tiny. You know what I mean? They're in all these surrounding towns. You know? And so I mean, and hell, he owns everything. You know, but and I'm like, kind of at this point, I'm like, look, this is happening. Like you guys should figure out a way to get on board. Because, like I was telling you yesterday, you know, in Australia, you can pay your bills with Bitcoin now. That's crazy. Australia is not a little place, guys. You know what I mean? It's not like I know it's down there, but but still, like.
You mean you can go down under and use Bitcoin?
I mean, and what that shows, you can use that.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it, brother. I couldn't help it. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh.
One day, man. I'm serious.
Well, every once in a while, you just got to remind people that you're human too, right? Like, you know, you want to have fun and do things too. And like Joe was saying, Cash Me is in place now. And then, of course, if you're in KGX, you're going to be able to pay for your KGX package now with your credit card. And it comes straight out. It's an option. You just do it. And then, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of crazy because, you know, there are more and more ways to get involved, and they're making it easier and easier and easier and easier. And, you know, I reposted it sometime this week. Don't ask me when because I can't remember. I'm old and I've slept. Okay, but sometime this week I read an article, and they were talking about how there's things coming. There's things coming, programs and things coming that are going to eliminate people having to. You know how when you got into Bitcoin, you old schoolers, when you got into Bitcoin, you had to go create a wallet first, and you had to get an exchange, and then you had to turn your fiat into Bitcoin. Now you don't have to do that, okay? There are ways, and there are more ways and more ways and more ways coming where they're just eliminating that stuff, right? And that's crazy. And that is part of the adoption that we've been talking about that's coming. That adoption is coming. Whether we like it, don't like it, it's coming. And there's nothing we can do.
No, I mean, it's good, and that's the thing is, that's where it starts really blowing up, because where we're going to become, look, everyone's going to learn how to use it, you know what I mean? But that's where our program and everything is going to become more of I want to say it's kind of funny because you're a pinnacle leader, but more of a pinnacle of things, because it's going to be for the people that want to know more about it and want to invest in it, not just how to pay their bill in it.
Right.
Because there'll be something that's way simple. They'll just be instructions, you know what I mean, that are free, you know what I mean? But that's where we're going to come. Our program will become more investment and, true knowledge of it and how it works and how to get into business with it is the way I'm seeing it, and I could be wrong, you know what I mean? But once you can pay your bills with it, it's going to be real simple. It's going to be like a credit card. They're just simplifying everything. Kind of like with the Cash Me app, That's simple, man. You link it to your account and you go boom, boom, boom. You can add money weekly, like every second Tuesday or whatever. You know what I mean? Like where it just boom, 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 boom. So, and they actually send a card too. Like I've got a Visa on the way. You know what I mean?
Well, hey, Joe, let me tell you something interesting. Let me tell you something interesting that that you missed last night. We had a great Bridging the Gap call last night, and you were out there busy taking care of multiple people's jobs, and we understood that, no big deal. But I did want, because we're on this subject, I did want to tell you about this because some of the other people might have missed it as well, and that is that Stephen was telling us about the new pay card that we have coming out, and this new pay card. Cryptogenics is going to actually pay you on this new pay card. And it'll cost about $10 or so to get the pay card. But here's the good news about this. It is the only one, this is the only one I know of. Seriously, like for real, this is big news. It's the only card that I know of that has a wallet with the card. And so when they transfer your commissions, right? Or your referral fees, whatever you want to call them, when they transfer them over to that card for you, they go into the wallet holding, okay? Now, you can still spend like USD with the card, but the money stays volatile. So, in other words, if Bitcoin is at 63 and you go to bed and all of a sudden in the morning it's 93, guess what? You just gained $3,000, even though it's on your card. And for a lot of us, that's big. For us old timers, that's big because, the first time that I sent BTC to my BitPay card, and it was, I don't know, I can't even remember the numbers now. All I remember is I was pissed, but I think it was like 8,000 or something like that. I went to bed. I got up the next day, and for whatever reason, that afternoon, I was checking my balance, and I was checking CoinMarketCap, and it was like 10.5. And I was mad. Oh, I was so mad because that same BTC that I had sent over there was now worth, $2,500, $3,000 more dollars. That's a huge, huge thing, and it's going to make a big difference to a lot of people. Hey, you're Chris. Right, Sharon. That is huge. Yes, sir.
What's that system called? What's that system called that does that?
The system called that does
maybe
what?
Bitcoin Core? Is that kind of how that works?
Probably.
That has a wallet for you?
Probably.
I think it might be something called Bitcoin Core, maybe. I don't know.
It probably is, but I'm not going to say yes or no, but it probably is.
I don't know. In case, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't know if anybody even remembers anybody saying anything about this, but I do because I wrote it down on my little pink cards. See, I got my pink cards, my yellow cards, my blue cards, and my green cards.
Your pink cards are cryptogenic.
I'm not quite sure what they mean, but they all mean something. Yeah, and then let's see, I got yellow cards. That's for my stack of exchanges. Because it's a stack of them. It sucks. Pretty much any exchange that I have. I don't know why, but I do. We learned that one time, because we were trying to buy that. There was something we were trying to buy. And then we went, oh, wait. I mean, we researched it and we were excited about it and we were watching. We went to buy it. Can't buy it in the United States. We're like,
couldn't buy it.
And that's always a letdown. Because you're like, well, that sucks.
They're not playing in our sandbox. It smells like kitty litter today.
I'm telling you, hey, how's Tattoo doing? Or does it
Tattoo?
I won't even look at it.
I didn't look at it today, and I was mad. I was mad at myself. I was mad at myself, so I didn't look at it today.
It, and Gloria keeps telling me, we found it at what, 22? It's been as low
21.
As 20, and now it's 21. 70 something.
Yeah, and I figured out why. I figured out why I didn't buy it that day.
Yesterday.
I figured out why I didn't buy it that day. It was because
is it an exchange we don't have?
It was because I was messing with that crazy car with the Volkswagen people, and they got me fired up and hot, and I got derailed.
The Germans' fault.
It's the Germans' fault. You know us Americans, we always got to blame it on somebody, right? I don't know. But no, seriously. The funny thing, I just got a call. They have a car for me. They want me to bring my car back. Whatever. So, okay, y'all. Bitcoin. Cryptogenics.
That light bulb.
Yeah. Hey, dude, let me tell you, the latest thing is I was driving it the other day, and the light went out. And so I drove it all day long, all around, doing my errands and stuff. No light. Then came back home and then went out to dinner. And when we went out to dinner, the light came back on. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just doing whatever it wants to do. I don't get it.
Gotta be some kind of player maker.
At this point, I don't even care.
You know what it is.
At this point, I don't even care. But what I am going to tell this guy when I get to the service guy and it's all said and done, I'm going to say, you owe me big time. Come on, let me teach you about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
He's going in my business, like it or not. Like it or not.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we've told you guys about the Bitcoin today. We've told you guys about cryptos today. We've given you the updates. Literally, I just kind of more or less went over the things that Steven and I talked about last night on the call. We will be having a GreenX for those folks hanging out with GreenX. We will be having a GreenX update call on or before or by the 30th of August. So big updates coming then. And that's kind of funny. And at the end of this, we're going to say that, yeah, I know, dummy lights. Yes, they are dummy lights. At the end of this, we're going to say that, huh? What?
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is kind of funny.
I knew I heard that right.
It is kind of funny. So, we're going to get that out. We're going to get that done. And the reason, it is what it is. We can only do what we can do, y'all. Okay? So we know that the things that are happening with GreenX and GreenX mining and GreenX coins, it has nothing to do with cryptogenics, has everything to do with their programming department. So, we have asked them to do an update call. They will be doing an update call. That's a fabulous thing. And you know what? We're all just going to go out today and say, God, love all day long. For the rest of the day, everything is God, love.
God, love.
We love you guys. We appreciate you. I know it's hard for Joe to get on these calls after he's had to work all night, and especially when he has to do it for days on end at a time. So I want to thank him for being a great co-host and a good sport and meeting me on here and taking care of business like we do. you all that are intimately communicating with us, we will be talking with you all individually and together soon. And we love each and every one of you. This is what we do, y'all. This is what we do. We are business people. I would say be business people. Make your family your first business, and put personality back in business. Just put personality and customer skills back in business. We love each and every one of you guys. Love you guys. Mwah! Jojo, tell them bye. Say bye, Joe.
Bye.
Bye, Joe.
Bye, Joe.
See, that's what I